Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be giving you guys my personal opinion on what I think every NFL team's biggest issue is right now. Again, to reiterate, personal opinion, just my thoughts. Would like to point out that certain teams will be getting pretty analytical answers and certain teams might be getting some creative answers. And for anybody wondering where the heck my Madden franchise is, don't worry, it'll be back. I'm just super burnt out of the game right now. I just need a break. Anyway, before we start, you guys know my plugs. You can use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are at the one category tier list. It's called Issues, and how we're gonna do it is I'm gonna be dragging, I'm gonna be dropping, and I'm gonna be talking. So the first team we're gonna go over is the Cardinals. To me, their biggest issue right now is that they're not throwing it enough. Like, they could realistically be 3-0 if they would just throw the ball down the field more. And I don't know if it's because they don't trust Dobbs or it's because they legitimately can't. Like, the 2 games they've lost has been by 1 score. I hate to say this, but imagine if they had Kyler. Moving on, we got the Falcons. I'm letting my friend talk for me here who's a Falcon fan because I figured you guys would like to actually hear from an Atlanta fan. He says the Falcons' biggest issue is just a combination of trying to figure out how to make the offense click. Ritter is obviously not special, but at the same time, he can't do much, especially when the line doesn't give him any help. I mean, I would have just said he's ass, so that works. Up next, we got the Ravens. Injuries, bro. Like, are you kidding me? They never have a full team. They never have a full offense. Like, they are always hurt. And for anybody thinking, Wyatt, you always say that about the Ravens. Well, it's because it's true. They're never healthy. After Baltimore, we've got the Bills. The Bills' biggest problem is that they play Miami Sunday. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Like, out of anything in Buffalo right now that's not going right, the biggest problem is that they face Miami Sunday. I'm not scared of Miami, but I'm not naive either. I know what we got coming. Now we've got the Panthers. Your guys' biggest problem is that 33-year-old Adam Thielen is carrying your offense. Plain and simple, like, that's an issue. You can't be having that. Oh, he can be doing good. That's great to see, but he should by no means be your best weapon. Moving on, next we got the Chicago Bears. Their problem, I mean, it could be the turnovers, it could be Fields not adapting, it could be the coaching, but on a grand scale of things, it's their offense. Their offense can't look like this every single year. Dude, teams can survive with a bad defense and a good offense, but teams will not survive with a bad defense and a bad offense. Like, you need to have an offense to even have a chance, and they don't have one. Like, I do feel bad for the fans. They can kind of be assholes at times, but like, you guys, it's been miserable for years. Moving on, we got the Bengals. Their biggest issue is quarterback depth. They're playing such a risky game sending Joe Burrow out there with an injured calf, and they're doing it for what? Because they don't have another option. What, Jake Browning? The guy's never played an actual game. Can you imagine if the Bengals had like Gardner Minshew or something? They wouldn't have had to play Burrow last week. They wouldn't have to play him this week. And they also wouldn't have to worry. They don't have anybody other than Joe, though. After the Bengals, we've got the Browns. Their biggest issue is turnovers. They're 4th worst in the league, man. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, they need a run game with the absence of Nick Chubb, but they gotta stop turning that damn ball over. Now we got Dallas. Dallas's biggest issue is the media. Always will be, too, man. Like, I can't believe that I've turned into such a Dallas fan almost, but dude, they've got pressure every single game, like a Super Bowl. They've got a million eyes on them praying for them to fucking lose. And if they do lose, you're not gonna hear the end of it. And if they win, all you're gonna hear is that their opponent was bad and that they're not that good. Like, the media is honestly so fucking mean to Dallas. And now we got the Broncos. Obviously, I think your biggest issue right now is Vance Joseph. Like, you need to get rid of him. You wouldn't have given up 70 points if you didn't have Vance. You wouldn't have lost to Washington if you didn't have Vance. And you probably would have beaten the damn Raiders if you wouldn't have had Vance. Vance sucks. All right, moving on, we got the Lions. Same story with them, pass defense. They're allowing like 225 yards a game through the air, and that's like their only issue. Otherwise, they're playing as a really good football team right now. Also, 2 of their O-linemen are graded in the top 10, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's unreal. Now, moving on, we got the Packers, and this is going to be a broken record, but your guys' biggest problem is Love's development. And I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's going to be like this forever either. But right now, I mean, your biggest problem is the fact that he can only complete about 50% of the throws he attempts. Once that gets fixed, you guys might be just really good. Now we got the Texans. You've allowed 7 rushing touchdowns in 3 weeks. You gotta get that under control. That's fucking egregious. Now we got the Colts. You guys have a good issue right now. What do you do? Do you play Minshew or do you play Anthony Richardson? I mean, you guys are in a weird spot where you're actually competing to take this division. Like, what the hell do you do right now? Plain and simple, you fucking use them both. And now moving on, we got Jacksonville. You guys' biggest issue is figuring out what your issue really is. And when you figure it out, please tell me. Next team we got is Kansas City. You guys' biggest problem is the Swifties. Oh yeah, no, that's a problem for life. You know how obnoxious your games are gonna be and how obnoxious your fan base is about to become? You guys are about to have the most hated fan base of all time. On top of everything, if Travis breaks up with her at any point, they're gonna fucking kill him. You know that, right? Like, they're going to kill him. This is the most insane group of people I've ever seen in my life. Like, they are crazy. Next up, we got the Chargers. Now moving on, we got the Rams. Their biggest problem is when to bring Cooper Kupp back, because kind of like the Colts, I don't think they expected to do much, and now they're seeing that they can actually hang with these teams. So do you bring Kupp back early and risk a re-injury, or do you bring him back too late when it might be too late to make it to the playoffs? And that will bring us to the Raiders. You got two really big problems. One of them is trying to keep Devontae Adams there, and two of them is figuring out what's going on with Josh Jacobs. You guys have the worst run game in the league right now. The worst. 2.9 yards a carry. 61 yards a game you average. That is bad. Now we got Miami. Your defense is not sharp. And honestly, I'm not afraid to say that because I'm hearing that from you guys more than anything. You guys are always telling me you might beat us with our defense being so bad. I know it's hard to think that their defense isn't good considering how they've been blowing teams out, but when you actually look at it, yeah, it's bottom 10. They're allowing 130 rushing yards a game and 230 passing. Like, I mean, you can definitely do better than that. All right, now we got the Viking. Fuck was that? Anyway, we got the Vikings. My issue with them is going to be the turnovers. They have the most turnovers in the league, and they don't seem to stop turning the ball over. But I'm going to give you guys a diehard Vikings fan perspective, and this is coming from my father. He says the offensive line hasn't been addressed for 15 years. We need 2 decent guards and a center. Poor drafts produced losers like Pat Elflein, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, and Dakota Dozier. We need bigger guys with a nasty disposition. This is our biggest issue by far. You can have all the weapons in the world, but if you can't keep the quarterback upright, it does you no good. Hey, bomb. Now we got the Patriots. I think their biggest issue is keeping their fans entertained for 3 hours. Like, it's almost impossible with that team. Now we got the Saints, and their biggest issue right now is getting Derek Carr back. Like I said, I don't hate Jameis. I don't think he's worthless. He didn't do that bad the other day in Carr's place, but Derek Carr, without a shred of a doubt, gives you guys the best chance to win games. That'll bring us to the Giants. Their biggest problem to me, other than Saquon Barkley being hurt, is how often they turn the ball over and how often they take a ball away. They've turned the ball over 5 times this year, and they have not taken the ball away once. How are you guys going to be a winning team if you keep that trend up? Like, jeepers. Now we can do the other half of MetLife. It's the Jets, and obviously your quarterback is your problem, but it goes a little bit deeper than just Zach Wilson. Yeah, he stinks, right? But the problem is the amount of loyalty that Robert Saleh has shown him, and now he's apparently losing the locker room over it. Dude, everyone hates each other. They're fighting on the sidelines. Nobody wants to listen to their coaches. And now the one guy who's supposed to keep it all together, he is losing grasp because people are saying, screw you, you're not even giving us a chance because you keep throwing this bum out here every week. Rodgers' injury really just ruined everything, man. He was the stitching that held it all together, and when he got hurt, it just went bam. Moving on to the next team, we've got Philly, and your guys' biggest issue is that you keep making the kiddies cry with that tush-push play. If you're asking me, if you don't want them to score with it, figure out how to stop it. Don't cry and piss and moan for it to get banned. Teams try it, teams fail with it. And it wouldn't even be an issue if Philadelphia wasn't winning games, but it's just since they're doing good, people just want to cry. Sorry, a team of beefy men is stronger than you. This would be like banning Kelvin Johnson back in the day from doing slant routes because he's too tall. Next up, we got the Steelers. I'm going to go ahead and say Matt Canada, not only because Antonio Brown called him Adolf Hitler, but it does seem like your guys' offense has been rather terrible for about 3 years now. It could be better. After that, we've got Seattle. Your guys' pass D isn't bad. It's atrocious, and I don't understand how. You guys are giving up 330 passing yards a game. You guys were supposed to be better on that aspect of things. Like, come on. Now we got San Fran. Their biggest problem is that steroids are no longer affecting their players. They are resulting to horse tranquilizers. It's a lot more money, man. Steroids ain't cheap. Horse tranks are a lot more. Up next, we got Tampa. Your guys' biggest problem is your run game by far. You need another alternative other than passing the ball down the field, and Rachaad White hasn't been good. Now moving on, we got the Titans. Your entire offense as a whole is just fucking atrocious. Like, it's disgustingly bad. You guys should not have signed D-Hop. That was such a stupid move on both parts. That take could turn around, but I mean, as of right now, I'm cooking with it. They look awful. And lastly, we've got the Commanders. I think your biggest issue right now is getting over the whole rebranding hump. You guys can't seem to let the past go, yet your owner keeps saying it's not coming back. Nobody likes your current name. Like, yeah, your team, there's certain things they can fix on it, but your issue is figuring out who you want to actually be. And that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're asking me, is every team's biggest issue. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you already know what to do to show support. Comment, like, subscribe, turn that bell on. I try to post every single day. However, with everything I just said, I'm gonna get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.